Hey guys, my name is Maria Montgomery, and I am so excited to be a part of the Be Kind movement. This is such perfect timing for an event like this, for an organization like this, for to spread the goodness of kindness. So thank you so much to Ryan and to Rachel and everyone else that is involved in the Be Kind, the group, so that we can make kindness more well known in this very dark world. With everything going on, we really could use some brightness to lighten the load of everyday news stories. So thank you so much, and thank you for tuning in. So here's my kindness story. Mine has to do with traveling. I have to travel for my job, usually on a weekly basis. And so you kind of get used to some of the frustrations, but sometimes you don't. So on this particular time, I was actually traveling to Milwaukee, where it was really cold at the time. Ironically, traveling to what I think was this very same hotel. And so I had some delays going on. There wasn't a direct flight, so I had to make a connection. And aggravatingly enough, I was delayed because although we landed on time in Charlotte, we actually had to wait on the runway for quite a while until I missed my next flight because there wasn't a gate open. So that was frustrating. But at the same time, you kind of get numb to it. I just knew that, heck, I'm going to lose a lot of sleep, but I'm still going to get there, so it's going to be okay. So the night got a little longer. They eventually were pressuring me to make a decision of to lose my bags possibly and make this flight, or to wait for a later flight and not make it. So kindness was shown to me when I got on a later delayed flight, I believe. But yet I expected my bags not to be there, and that was correct. So when I got to Milwaukee Airport, I didn't have my bags, which has never actually happened to me. That has happened when I'm going home, but not when I'm going to someplace where I don't have anything. And so that was a challenge. But I saw darkness shown at the baggage claim, where there's probably a lot of darkness shown to those people who help. Some people came and just truly let these really nice girls behind the counter just let them have it. And it wasn't even their fault. These guys were in the exact same situation I was in, on the exact same flight, but they took it out on these innocent girls who were only there to help. So that was unfortunate. But on the flip side, I tried to show kindness to them, and because of that, they took my personal phone number and made sure I got my bag, and I sure enough did. The next morning while I was at work, it came, and so it was no big deal. I slept in the clothes that I flew in and went to work in them. Thankfully, I model for a living, as Rachel understands even more so than I do, that you get to work and then you kind of work as a team. There's a hair and makeup artist, and so you may arrive looking like crap, but when you have a good team like that, it fixes things. So it could have been worse to go someplace without a bag, but it still made me feel a little lost inside, and I wondered about my valuables and where they were. So long story short, I get to this hotel, and it's probably around 11:30 or so, and I check into my room, and come to find out the heater doesn't work, and that's a problem in Milwaukee winters. So I had to change the room. Again, not a big deal, it was just another frustration. So I changed rooms, and while I'm doing so, the really, really sweet girl who took me from the airport to the hotel in the shuttle, she listened to my story of everything that's going on. Even though she had no idea who I was, she just let me vent to her. And she showed extreme kindness when she came to switch my rooms for me. She came to me instead of me having to come back down to the lobby. And in her hand, she had a bag of toiletries, of toothpaste, toothbrush, and several things to get me through the night. She was so sweet. And more than that, her face just showed 100% genuine care. And sometimes there's nothing like that. People can say, "How are you?" but they don't always want to listen. And this girl wanted to listen. And so people like that are needed in the world, and I'm so excited that we're all joining together to be those people. So to continue the story, this was actually a separate trip, but I also arrived at this very hotel one time, and it was 11:30 at night, and there was no reservation for my room to be found anywhere. And I don't make a lot of my reservations because it's made through work, and so things get lost in translation very easily at times, understandably so. But on top of that, there was no rooms available. So I was really stuck. I was here from home, Kentucky, and I was stuck at 11:30 at night, maybe even later in Milwaukee. And so I was really at the hands of their mercy. And so thankfully, they went out of their way. The ladies at the front desk went completely out of their way, and put me in their shuttle and took me around town until they found a hotel that had vacancy for me. And that was just incredibly sweet. That made me feel so warm inside, that someone was so hospitable, that had nothing to do with me. They weren't getting paid for me. They weren't making a dime off me, and they weren't even benefiting their company, but they really went out of their way for someone else and showed kindness. So through several traveling annoyances, I've actually found a lot of good in this world. There are good people out there. Heck, I've even lost a laptop on a flight one time, and someone returned it. They had to track the plane down, and it went from several different states all day long for a couple of days, I believe, and some good Samaritan found it and turned it in. So there are good people out there, and I'm so glad that, again, we're joining forces to be those people. So just continue to be kind, and don't ever underestimate what a little movement can do. Always pay it forward, whether that's buying someone's coffee behind you in line as a complete surprise, or just saying a nice word, or just smiling at someone. It can really make a difference. And so thank you so much for volunteering your time and your heart to do just that. Can't wait to hear your stories soon.